Hello everyone. This is Aishi Maskara from class 10C of Prabhatara School, and first of all for this project I would like to thank Mrs. Priyanka who gifted us with such a beautiful opportunity. And with this, I hope you like this video. So let's get started. The rise of political parties is directly linked to the emergence of representative democracies. Parties representing different ideas and ideologies may stand for the views of a particular region or society. The bigger our society becomes, more diversity of views and needs sprouts. So, to represent such wants, political parties are formed. So, what do you think? What's a political party? Well, it is basically a group of people who come together to contest elections and hold power in the government. They may represent varying values and policies, so with the motto of symbolizing theirs as better or maybe ultimate, they try to win mass supports through elections. Well, hey, are these parties made of some group of friends like ours? I don't think so. So, here are the real components of a political party. First, the leaders, who act as the official representative of their political parties and formulate policies and programs. Second, the active members, who are involved in different committees of the party and participate directly in their activity. And now, the followers, who believes in party's ideology and cast vote for them during elections. Now, after all this, there is still a question in my mind. Why do we need them? Do they have some specific functions? Well, that's a yes. Parties contest elections, and in our country, India, top party leaders are the ones to choose the candidates for the purpose. Parties serve different policies and programs which may be supported by different people, and therefore, with the ruling party elected by the people as the base, government makes policies. Parties affect the lawmaking process in the country, especially the ruling one, where members mostly go with the opinions of their leaders. Parties form and run governments. Losing parties act as opposition, pressurizing and criticizing the ruling party for their failures. Parties shape public opinions by highlighting the main issues in different sections of society and also launch movements for the resolution of people's problems. Because of the ease of approaching the party leaders, people get access to government machinery and welfare schemes more easily than through government officials themselves. Well, now the question arises, can these all functions be performed just by one party, especially in a country like ours? Well, no. So, how many of them do we actually need? Hence, the answer is that there is no bound for number of parties. Therefore, about 750 parties are registered with the Election Commission of India. Nonetheless, only few of them are actually active. Now, let's just understand what type of party system does India have. So yes, it's multi-party system where several parties compete and more than two have fair chance of winning elections either on their own strength or in alliance with others. For example, in India, the three major alliances of 2004 parliamentary elections were the National Democratic Alliance, the United Progressive Alliance, and the Left Front. Besides these, there is a one party system like in China, while two party system in UK. There are some countrywide parties present in several or all units of the federation, known as national parties. A party that secures at least 6% of the total votes or at least 4 seats in Lok Sabha elections or assembly elections in 4 states is recognized as a national party. So, with this, in India, we have 8 recognized national parties according to current report. They are All India Criminal Congress, that is AITC, Bahujan Samaj Party, that is BSP, Bharatiya Janata Party, that is BJP, Communist Party of India CPI, Communist Party of India Marxist, that is CPIM, Indian National Congress INC, Nationalist Congress Party NCP, and National People's Party, that is NPP. Besides national, there are parties present in only one of the federal units, known as state parties or regional parties. A party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in an election to the state legislative assembly and wins at least two seats is recognized as a state party. Their presence has made the Parliament of India politically more and more diverse, and even most are part of some national level coalition government. Some examples of state parties are Aam Aadmi Party, Rashtriya Janata Dal, Samajwadi Party, and many more. So, with this, let's stop with the discussion about political parties and move to something very interesting. Yes, the Bengal Assembly elections of 2021. A story not too old that at the end shocked everyone. Yes, the results of Bengal Assembly elections of 2021. This election took place amid of corona pandemic when India was going through the second phase of virus attack. While the cases were rising, rallies were held simultaneously. Though leaders never thought that the whole election would turn out like that, which we are going to discuss soon. There were a total of 2,132 candidates, in which following parties had its candidates. First, All India Tribunal Congress with its Supremo Mamata Banerjee, who has been Bengal Chief Minister since 2011 with Alliance of Gorkha Janmukt Morcha. Even as we know, Bharatiya Janata Party with its leader Dilip Ghosh contested elections with support from many parties and also gave a constituency to all Jharkhand Students Union to fight election. Third is Sanjukt Morcha, an alliance of Communist Party of India Marxist, All India Forward Bloc, Revolutionary Socialist Party, Communist Party of India, Marxist Forward Bloc, Indian National Congress, and Indian Secular Front. Others included Socialist Unity Center of India Communist, Janata Dal United, Communist Party of India, Marxist Leninist Liberation, Communist Party of India, Marxist Leninist Red Star, All India Majlis-e-Ittehadul Muslimin, Bahujan Samaj Party, and National People's Party. These elections took place in 292 constituencies out of 294 in West Bengal between 27 March to 29 April in 8 phases. Though voting in two constituencies were held on 16 May after the death of one candidate in each. But after all this, what's the most crucial matter we should be concerned about? Yes, the matter of rising cases and death count while the whole scenario. Up to 23 April, the coronavirus infections spiked to 5,110 cases and 58 deaths in the state. This growth continued, but still, rallies didn't stop. Some backed off while BJP and TMC were still on it. With such a situation in hand, Calcutta High Court even once expressed its dissatisfaction with the Election Commission over enforcement of COVID 19 health safety norms. Not only this, but even leaders accused each other of carelessness and lack of sense of duty. For example, Mamata Banerjee blamed PM Narendra Modi for the whole situation, while BJP accused her of not attending COVID 19 emergency management meetings, despite such rise in cases, because of her election campaigning. Most of us believed that the result was pre decided and biased towards one party. In fact, once even Union Home Minister Amit Shah addressed a rally with words, by the time polling in the sixth phase ends, the BJP will secure absolute majority. But then, this was the result which was announced on 2nd May 2021 when 148 seats were minimum needed for a majority, then 213 seats were won by AITC, 77 by BJP, and one each by ISP and GJM. Though Mamata Banerjee lost from Nandigram constituency, she still can become chief minister through by-election. Now, This question has arisen in minds of most. Why BJP lost and AITC won? And its answer is just equally interesting and debateful as well. So, in North Kolkata, vandalism of Vidyasagar statue, which represents a part of Bengal's history, took place when students of the college and BJP supporters had a fight, putting them in a tight spot where Mamta Banerjee targeted BJP as a party of outsiders. Due to this, somehow, after a week, BJP lost all 9 seats in 7 phases. Women as well as Muslim votes were with TMC. But that doesn't explain their win in parts where Muslim population is just 5 to 15%. So, the actual reason is the presence of a strong local leader as Mamta Banerjee. Even INC and CPI votes got transferred to AITC. A lot of movement or protest against BJP in past years, like for Citizenship Amendment Act, farm laws in 2020, proposed National Register of Citizens, and the main mismanagement while COVID-19 pandemic centrally played a major role against them. Though the fact can't be neglected that BJP made a huge entry into West Bengal with two-digit figure, which was ruled by the left and TMC for a long time. So with this, finally we come to an end of talks and facts. I hope you all liked it and found it lucrative. Thanks for watching.